Bible verse of the day, number 5. Today's verse is from 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 24. Do you not know that those who run in a race all run, but one receives the prize? Run in such a way that you may obtain it. And everyone who competes for the prize is temperate in all things. Now, they do it to obtain a perishable crown, but we for an imperishable crown. Therefore I run thus, not with uncertainty. Thus I fight, not as one who beats the air. But I discipline my body and bring it into subjection, lest, when I have preached to others, I myself should become disqualified. Paul illustrates the champion mindset required to faithfully complete the Christian life with his statements, I run thus, not with uncertainty, and thus I fight, not as one who beats the air. Paul was not an aimless competitor. He had a clearly defined goal. Like an athlete preparing for a race or a boxing match, Paul knew that he had to discipline his body. He had to force himself to maintain the strenuous, consistent practice needed for success. The race that Paul prepared himself for, the race that all Christians need to prepare themselves for, was the calling of God. Paul taught that Christians are rewarded for the calling that God gives them. Paul had an apostolic ministry for which he sacrificed all things. He knew that if he was faithful to his calling, he would receive a reward from the Lord for his service. Paul also knew that if he ignored or treated lightly his mission, he would not receive from God the victor's crown for service. Having seen some of his close friends forsake their calling, Paul recognized that the loss of the victor's crown was a very real possibility for any believer, regardless of his or her standing in the Christian community. The apostle's overwhelming passion was to fulfill his ministry at all costs, to stay faithful to the fight to the very end. In Paul's last letter, written shortly before his death, we discover that he accomplished his goal. Paul's spiritual training was the very best available, yet he did not assume that he would automatically persevere to the end of the race. He continued to discipline himself, to fight, and follow his calling from God. In doing so, Paul provided an ideal model for all Christians striving to become champions. Hope this helps you. Be motivated. Let's get motivated from this. We gotta lock in, guys. Keep up the fight, keep up the race. Amen.